So a lot of times when it comes to movies, I would rather have a weak start and a phenomenal finish rather than a phenomenal start and a horrible finish. And hopefully this is the first part because oh, I have a lot to get into. So, on this episode of the Play One podcast, I'm going to be talking about the whole Tory Lanez, Cassidy stuff because they both dropped new disc records this past week, and I really want to talk about it because I have a lot to say about both of them. I'm going to talk about the disc records as well as I'm going to give my thoughts on just everything outside and surrounding it. And if I have time, I'm going to tackle something else. But first, let's go ahead and get this off the table. So, like I said, to my point, starting off the podcast, as far as movies, I would rather see a good, like a horrible beginning and a good finish rather than a good beginning and a horrible finish. I mean, I would rather see an all-around great movie. But if I had to choose between both, that would be it. Because a lot of times you want to leave the theater or just from watching a movie feeling satisfied, and whatever you left off with is how your mood is gonna be, how you're gonna feel. And by me saying that, this whole thing with Tory Lanez and Cassidy is so disappointing. I don't know. Certain people may give them both flowers. Might say they're both doing their thing, or you got Cassidy fans saying Cassidy doing his thing, or you got Tory fans saying Tory doing his thing, and just going that route, picking and choosing, or just giving them both whatever. I'm saying they both need to step up. So first of all, let's go ahead and get into the Tory Lanez disc record. Last week he dropped the disc record, and it was like, I honestly, I ain't even gonna front. It didn't even dawn on me. I saw he had dropped the freestyle, and I just kind of passed by it until I realized by seeing somebody else's post, like, oh, he's dissing Cassidy in the new freestyle. And I'm just like, why did I pass that up? He just dropped a record after Cassidy dropped his diss record, and it didn't dawn on me to possibly, maybe he is talking about Cassidy, because in the title it doesn't say Cassidy diss or whatever. It's just whatever, When It's Dark freestyle. And listening to it, I listened to it several times, and it's basically your run-of-the-mill Tory Lanez braggadocious rap about gun violence, cars, women, money, fame, etc., and everything else. And it has a dope beat. And it's definitely a beat that needs a freestyle, needs a rapper to just go on and just tackle it, just go ahead and murder it. It's one of those type of beats. It's a dope beat. It has a little, it just has a, like make you want to just go ahead and spit something. It's a nice ass beat. Nice ass beat. But when we get into the whole thing now, this is one of those records that was meant to be more of a record to where you can like bang and you could just vibe to it and everything else, and you can just bump, rather than it wasn't a diss record. And it shows by just the limited bars that he has aimed toward Cassidy, and everything else is just braggadocious. And one thing that threw me off is that he is just really bragging about stealing flows. And I'm just thinking, like, I had to rewind it because I'm like, that's really nothing to brag about. Like, and he's just trying to make it cool, and it's like, bro, that's nothing to brag about. Like, that's really what people been saying about you, like, basically kind of like your whole career, that you sound like this person, you sound like that person, you sound like this person. And it's very prevalent in his raps. Like, he's still in Drake's flow. He sounds like Chris Brown. He's still in Kendrick's flow. He's doing this. So to add another artist to your artistry of, sounding alike, it's like, bruh, that's not something to brag about. It really isn't. And he was like, and he even had to stop and repeat it. It's like it was so nice. He had to say it twice. Like, okay, I mean, you feel that way about it. Okay, whatever. I'm not about to feel great about stealing somebody's flow. I want my own shit. And I thought when he said it, that was gonna be the only thing. Talking about, yeah, I stole your flow and what? I take a dude flow and what? I thought that was gonna be the only thing, and I'm like, oh my god, like please give me more, because I was gonna be super like disappointed off of that. But once he got into the second verse, it was like, okay, almost, I ain't gonna say, well, basically almost immediately he was talking about him. He gave a few bars that was just random shots, and then bam, he went into it. And he went a little harder, but it still was a very light touch and very just unimpressive. I ain't gonna say completely unimpressive, but he didn't go as hard as I thought he would. I mean, he does do a line about the I did like the casket line about that's where his career's at. The SPAC line, but even even they didn't really feel like it hurt that much, And he had the R. Kelly line, which wasn't the best or whatever. But I mean, I see where he was going with that, and I thought he was gonna go hard. I really did think that he was gonna go hard. Like, I think overall, it's an okay record, but it's kind of what you would expect from Tory at this point. It wasn't anything like spectacular or anything just mind blowing or whatever. And it sounds more like a song than a diss record, which I really think that's what he was going for. So I can't fault him on that because Drake did the same thing with Back to Back. So I could see where he was going with that, and you kind of see what I'm talking about the still. But anyway, so I mean, if you like Tory's music, you're more than likely gonna like this record. And if you don't think he went hard, that's because you probably know more about his discography and everything else. But yeah, I mean, and I was talking with people about this last week, saying that I know Cassie is in the studio right now, that he is literally like penning a record right now, that before the week is over, we're going to get a diss record. And wouldn't you know, Sunday hit. Before I even went to bed, I think I went to bed a little bit past midnight or whatever. I ended up, bam, seeing Cassidy drop the freestyle, drop the verse or whatever, new diss record against Tory. And oh my God. I'm so unimpressed. I'm so unimpressed. Cassidy, I say what is it not? It's called Plagiarism. Basically the same title as the first record. Perjury, like it's like Perjury, I feel to me was the better record. Plagiarism was just a chore to get through. It's like he has, don't get me wrong, like Cassidy overall, he had some like dope lines that he said up in it. He had some dope lines, but majority of the stuff he said about him, it wasn't hard hitting. It wasn't anything that made me like, damn, okay, he going hard. And he spends a good portion of the song where he's just literally spitting random bars, just talking about random shit. And then he gets back to Tory, and it's like, the diss record is like, what, 6-7 minutes long? And it's like, man, you could have shortened this. Everything that you said about Tory in this record, you could have just crunched it down to 3 to 4 minutes, because everything else was just filler to make the track longer for whatever reason. Now, I honestly don't want to sound like I'm seriously hating on like Cassidy, but god damn, like, come up with something that's great. Like, at this point, you're not doing what you claim that you always do. At this point, it's like, bruh, what you need to do is shorten your disc record to 2-3 minutes. It don't need to be longer than that unless you saying some fantastic things. But if you're just saying the same things over and, it's just, You got a couple good lines, you got some jabs up in there, but overall, majority of it is just you zone out as you're listening to it. It's like, bruh, you doing something like wrong. And I feel like this whole thing, well, as far as the diss record, it wasn't a great diss record. It just really wasn't. It was you're running a mill, Cassidy bars, like this is what I'm saying. Like I'm just been so disappointed with this battle so far that like we come straight off of we ain't even get a response from Royce going against Lupe and Mickey Fax. And now, right after that, we jump from one going into the next. Like, okay, maybe we're gonna get something. And it's like, this is what we get. Like, come on, man. I don't know, but I mean, I don't know. At this point, I feel like Tory either needs to address it by either making just a dope ass diss record, just murder him, just say that's the end, and just murder him, bumper clot, blood clot him to death. Do all that. Or Cassidy needs to just murder. Like something needs to happen that's gonna change the tides of this because right now it's not great. It's just really not great. It's unimpressive. Like I've been unimpressive. I listened to Cassidy's diss record like 3 times. Nah, you know what? I couldn't even. Matter of fact, it was 2. I couldn't even get. I couldn't even get to a third time. It was just so jarring to listen to. It feels like work. Like you have to listen. After a while, you just lose concentration, you just lose focus, and that's exactly what Cass did. And it just like I need something that's gonna change the tides. Either Tory is gonna go all in, or he's not. Either Cass is gonna give us something better, or not. If not, then what's the point of all this? I feel like Tory has the ball in his lane. He's the bigger name. He has, in a sense, more to lose, but I don't think that he's going to really, even if he loses the battle, I don't think he's going to lose, his status of where he's at now as far as his fandom. I don't think that Cassidy is going to gain too much from winning. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. I feel like he's not. He's not in a place. He hasn't revolutionized himself as an artist to succeed further in this game now, unless he changed something totally different and puts out an album that's way different from what we're normally used to cast. I don't feel like even if he comes out the victor, he's not gonna really like get up in fame. He's not gonna really get too many new fans. He's not gonna be mainstream like that again. I could be wrong, but that's just my analysis. I'm like, I don't know. Like he needs to do something different to bring people back on board or bring new fans on board. Because so far I've been unimpressed with this whole back and forth. Hopefully Tory got something up his sleeve and he's gonna go ham. And hopefully they give us something that's worth like watching. I mean, just think about it. If this was an actual boxing match between both of them, would you really be entertained by it, by the jabs? That's how I'm looking at it. And I don't know. I mean, that's really all that I have to say about it. And hopefully we get more. But with that said, let's go on to the next subject, which I'm going to be talking about the whole thing with Anthony Fantano and Isaiah Rashad from Top Dog Entertainment, the same record label that Kendrick Lamar is a part of, and just the whole thing about it. Now, I'm not going to get too detailed, but basically the gist of it is that Isaiah Rashad came out with an album after like a 5-year hiatus. Like he was gone for a good little minute, and he put out just a recent album called the House is Burning. This is maybe about maybe a week ago or so. And Anthony Fantano, well known music reviewer or whatnot on YouTube reviewed the album and gave it a 5 out of 10. You know, and after that, a fan on Twitter, as a lot of things happen, basically instigated the whole situation by shooting that, shooting basically that information to, Isaiah Rashad and tag both of them up in it, saying, just basically instigating the whole situation, which got him to kind of look at it as, you know, getting mad that Anthony Fantano rated his album so low or didn't give it great praise or anything of that nature, to the point where Punch Top Dog Entertainment's president intervened and basically just asked him, like, how do you prepare for this? Like, how do you prepare yourself to critique black music and blah, blah, blah. And the thing is that I just have about this whole situation. And this is like, and it also just situations that's relating toward it. So I honestly am going to take Anthony Fantano's side on this one. Now, I know a lot of people, you probably might look at it and be like, oh, why are you doing that, and all this stuff. And this is why. When you put projects out that is from your own creative, whether it's music, movies, a form of writing or whatever, if you put it out to the masses for people to hear, you're going to get both feedback. Well, you're going to get feedback, both positive and negative. You put yourself out there, you're going to open yourself up to praise or criticism. And it just really comes with the territory. For a person to be as on the level of to where you're on a record label that's the same as Kendrick Lamar, to where you're going to find yourself having more success than Anthony Fantano will throughout his whole life, why are you letting something so small get to you? Okay, you've got praise off the album from other critics, fans alike. And this one reviewer comes out and gives it a 5 out of 10. And yeah, don't get me wrong, Anthony Fantano is influential. Like, that is going to play a role. I'm not saying it's not. It is going to play a role. But why would you let one reviewer get under your skin like that? Now, don't get me wrong. Like, of course, you're going to feel, kind of like real protective over your projects and what you do. No matter how you feel about it, you're going to feel protected. If somebody talk bad about it, you gonna feel a certain type of way. But why should it be to that point? It should be like, okay, well, he ain't feel it. Okay, cool, whatever. My album isn't for him. And that's what it should be. If you feel like you're black, you're speaking to the black audience. White people can like it, or other people can like it. That's, other races or whatever. They can enjoy your music, but it's not meant for them. It's meant for people that go through this life, that live this life, that knows exactly what he's talking about. And that really should be it. Like, why are you concerning yourself with a person like this? Like Anthony Fantano, I was listening to something today where somebody made a good point that at that point, people who want to fuck with you, they've already listened to your music, so whether he likes it or not, they already gonna be behind. They already gonna, be behind you. But if people are listening to him and not checking out the album, then obviously they're not big fans, or they just wasn't gonna listen to the album anyway. And don't get me wrong, that's not the case the whole time. Because you could have a person that never heard of you that probably like, okay, let me check this out. But either way, negative or positive, somebody is going to be like, well, let me see how this is. Let me see if Anthony Fantano really is, what he's talking about when it comes to this. So I feel like everybody that was behind there should just relax. It's easy to say, hard to do. But, it's just one man's opinion. Just one man's opinion. He's not going to stop every single fan from like, oh, well, he gave it a 5 out of 10. That's not really a grade. I'm not going to, waste my time and listen to it. I'll listen to something else. Like, nah. If people fuck with you, they gonna fuck with you. People want to fuck with you, they gonna go and fuck with you. People don't want to fuck with you, they not gonna fuck with you. So it's kind of like one of those scenarios. It's like you kind of have to like look at it as like, not everybody is gonna love your shit, and that's just the bottom line of it. Like not everybody is gonna be on the same page when it comes to your music. People are gonna love it, people are gonna hate it, people are gonna like it, people are gonna not like it. So it just like just let it go. Just do your music because he's not gonna stop your money flow. You're more than likely pulling in more money than he is a year. So why should a person who's not on your level as far as success like literally tear you away and put you in some type of mood? Like, okay, cool. But I mean, I just think that it's kind of like, yeah, you should just not even worry about it. Just be like, okay, yeah, you don't feel it. It's not meant for you. I mean, he's just a guy. Like, he's white. He can't relate to your struggle. He can't relate to your experience and everything that you're talking about. He can only critique it through his mind and how he sees it as he hears it through through whatever he's listening to it on. But as far as like everything else, I mean, everybody critiques music even if they don't relate to it. So I mean, it is what it is. I feel like it's not controversial. It's not a big thing. Just keep doing you. You're gonna have your fans regardless. He gonna have his fans regardless. Everybody gonna make money at the end of the day. So that's really all it should be. And so with that said, that ends the podcast. Like, thank you guys for joining me. I wanted to drop a podcast last week, didn't get it, wasn't able to, so drop one this week, and I hope you guys liked it. And if you did, go ahead, give it a like, and subscribe if you're not. Hit that notification bell, and check me out on everything else I have on my channel. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.